If your wheels have lost their luster, whether it be from long track days or it's been a while since the last car wash, it's not impossible to restore their original shine. In fact, it's quite simple. First, start off with a wheel cleaner. Personally, I prefer to use Brake Buster from P&S because unlike other wheel cleaners, this one's non-acidic. So it's safe for all wheel finishes, and it can even be diluted down to a 10:1 ratio if used weekly, or a 5:1 ratio in a foamer, which is what I'm using here. Just allow it to dwell for 30 to 60 seconds depending on your dilution and how dirty the wheels are. Normally I'll spray all 4 wheels, then rinse them off in the same order. Most of the dirt should come off at this step, but don't be disappointed if it doesn't, because next up is the contact wash, for which we'll be using the Adams Mega Foam through the MJJC foam cannon, and apply it just like the Brake Buster by spraying all 4 wheels, then proceed with the actual contact wash. Wheels with an open design like this can be tackled mostly with a dual purpose wheel and tire brush, or if you prefer to use this just for the tire, you can also use a dedicated wash mitt for the wheels. As long as it's not the same mitt for the car, you should be fine. If you can't get in there with a dual purpose brush or mitt, I found this dedicated wheel cleaning brush works well for getting through the entire wheel barrel as well as the tighter areas like behind and in front of the calipers, which it can easily reach since this brush is malleable. However, if you have an even tighter wheel pattern, I'll leave the link for an even slimmer brush as well as everything else from this video in the description. Unlike other wheel brushes that are made to only clean the barrel and around the caliper, the brushes I recommended can also clean behind the face of the wheel so the dirt won't get cooked on. Otherwise, each wheel would have to come off to get back there. Another thing this particular wheel brush comes with is a dedicated lug cleaner. Even with the open design of my wheels, I found this very useful as the first brush can't completely get in this section. With this being the second rinse, it's okay to be a little bit more aggressive here, which is why I'm using the extension to really get inside the wheel well. At this point, only the most stubborn pieces of dirt will be on the wheel if it's not 100% clean. So I would do specific spot cleaning here if it's needed, but this time we can incorporate the second contact wash with the first contactless wash of the entire car. Then you can let the foam dwell on the car as you finish up all the wheels, then rinse it off. Just like the wheels, we want the foam to dwell. This gives the soap time to lift up the dirt from the car so that when the rinse comes, it's not going to push the dirt further into the paint and potentially cause a scratch. It's for this reason I never rinse the car first with just water from the pressure washer. It's always a direct application of foam, or in the case of the wheels, Brake Buster. This will also maintain the strength of your solution as there's no water on the surface to dilute the Brake Buster. If you have different tips available, I would recommend a 40-degree nozzle for the rest of the car as it's a wider and more gentle pattern and more suitable for the body versus the 25-degree that I recommend for wheels. Narrowing the angle will give just a little bit more pressure for road grit and brake dust, which can be harder to get off, as well as better penetration the more intricate your wheel pattern is. Speaking of angles, you may have already noticed this, but since most of the wheel surface can be cleaned, apply the cleaning agents and do the contact wash from different angles and positions to ensure as much dirt is removed as possible. In most situations, this should be enough to have your wheels completely clean. I only do one more contactless wash as I do the contact wash on the rest of the car, so the dirt from above won't settle on the wheels. To dry the wheels, we'll use a leaf blower to save time and towels, but they don't need to be fully dry as we'll go in with a microfiber and our drying agent after. The drying agent in this case is P&S's Bead Maker. For first-time applications, be very generous, while subsequent applications don't need nearly as much, as this can last up to 3 months, and layering it on too thick can lead to streaking. If this happens, just go in with a clean microfiber and buff it out. There's also a hack that uses 10 parts Bead Maker to 1 part Dream Maker. This creates something called Clean Maker. This is actually what's in my spray bottle, and this is meant to cut down on streaking and lint attraction. The other possible cause for lint attraction is not letting the solution cure long enough, which can be anywhere from 30 minutes to 8 hours, depending on your conditions. But the payoff is completely worth it as it can be applied to the entire car where it will effortlessly bead and sheet off water while also providing UV protection. Lastly, we have to dress the tires. After trying several brands, I found the Adams graphing tire dressing works best if you prefer a more satin finish. I've had no issues with it slinging off, and it comes in at a decent price, considering that it should provide protection for 2 to 3 weeks, which works out perfectly for monthly car washes, as any leftover comes off easily without any concern of buildup that needs to be heavily scrubbed off. But if you want even more protection, you have to ceramic coat them, or if you prefer to check out my pressure washer setup, check out these videos, and I'll see you in that one.